Pangam Langayate Girim Yet Kripatam Aham Vande Shri Gurun Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Mataji, is anybody sharing or should I share?
Yeah, Rohini Mataji. Are you there, Mataji? Rohini Mataji couldn't hear. I think she's joining back, Mataji. Okay, she's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So the chapter is entitled Genealogical Table of Daughters of Manu, Swayambhu Manu. Yeah, so text one. Actually, to give a brief, it is there already in text one. So about the fourth canto. So we will read the shloka and translation and try to seeking all your blessings and prayers for some few words that make sense for all of you, including me, and to discuss Shrimad Bhagavatam in this Pitru Paksh month. Pitru Paksh days. Yeah. So the shloka will be read by Anasuya Mataji and translation by Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Maitreya uvacha manostu shatarupaya tishraha kanyayascha jagnire akutir devahutischa prashutir iti vishrutaha. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri Maitreya said, Swayambhuva Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Satarupa, and their names were Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada starts off with saying he's offering his obeisances to his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, because he says his Herculean task of writing commentary on Shrimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada starts the fourth canto, and then he's seeking blessings from his spiritual master and from Radha Krishna and all the 6 Goswamis, Vrindavana, the cowherd boys and damsels in Vrajabhumi. So let us also, for both Shravanam and Kirtanam both, let us also pray that we are able to understand the knowledge, the gnana, and then the vijnana, to apply it also, whatever we are going to try to discuss in Shrimad Bhagavatam. So the second canto, the fourth canto mainly, starts off with creation, secondary creation, Sarga Visarga, right? In the third canto, last chapter, the first shloka was the 10 topics about what the Shrimad Bhagavatam deals, Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Uttiya, and then Ishanukata, Manmantara Katha, and all these, right? These 10 topics. So here initially we are talking, there are going to be discussion about creation by Brahma and Manus, Swayambhu Manu. Now, what does Visarga, secondary creation, mean? Primary creation in the sense is the soul. The soul is coming from the Lord, from Krishna. So that is the primary creation. So secondary creation based on our karma, or whatever we desire. Karmana Daiva. So the bodies are provided by Brahma, and then to help him in these in this aspect, we have the Prajapatis, out of which the Manus are made. So all the Manus, and then we have Daksha Prajapati. We have so many Prajapatis. So that is what is one topic in the fourth canto. Then there is a very great description about the sacrifice of Daksha Prajapati. How how we can get bewildered even though he's Daksha Prajapati. See, becoming a Prajapati is not a small thing. He is born out of Brahma to populate the whole universe, right? But in spite of it, how he, offends a Vaishnava, Lord Shiva, and then how he repents, and then a lot of lessons in that aspect. And then it is about Swayambhu Manu and their descendants. Then we have Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, Prithu Maharaj also pastime, about the Prithu Maharaj's pastime, also in the 4th canto. Then about Dehuti, Prabhupada says in the first canto, Dehuti, Kardama Muni and Kapila Muni. We already saw in detail in 3rd canto. And we are going to see about the other 2 daughters and the sons. The shloka, cha comes. So it is the daughters and the sons is what Srila Prabhupada. So this is about the first shloka, that what is it exactly? Maitreya Muni is saying that Swayambhu Manu begot 3 daughters in his wife Swatarupa, and their name was Akuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. So Devahuti we have seen, Prasuti and Akuti we will see now in the 4th canto. So this is about, this is the second person asking me that is my voice audible to everybody? Is it audible clearly to everybody?
Clear.
Yes,
Mataji.
Audible,
Suma
Mataji, but
Mataji,
it was
clear.
a little low. It was
Okay,
a little
Hare
low.
Krishna. Okay, I'm increasing the volume. What about now?
Yeah, now better, Mataji.
Okay.
Mataji, we can hear you properly. I think those who can't hear, they can exit and join again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, so we'll go to the second shloka. Who will read? Sunila Sri Radha Mataji. Nice to see your Sunila Sri Radha Devi Dasi ki jai. You can read the shloka, and Sudha Mataji will read the translation. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Akutim rochaye pradadapi bhratrumati nrupaha putrika dharmamashritya shatarpanumoditaha. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Akuti had 2 brothers, but in spite of her brothers, King Swayambhuva Manu handed her over to Prajapati Ruchi on the condition that the son born of her be returned to Manu as his son. This he did in consultation with his wife Shatarupa. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So you see, now our learning starts. Shrimad Bhagavatam learning, right? First of all, in the translation itself, very beautifully Srila Prabhupada is saying, but in spite of her brothers, that means Swayambhu Manu has sons, not 1, 2 sons. But when he is handing over, Akuti to Prajapati Ruchi, he is putting a condition that the son born to Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti should be given to him. Now, at the outset, imagine, forget a son, right? Just for a second, let's close our eyes and think, okay? I have 5 houses, 5 flats, and someone says, no, it's okay, you have 5 of them, give me 1. What will our reaction be? I mean, I'm not even talking about any living entity. As such, what will be our thought process? Let's be honest. I mean, just for discussion's sake, right?
We won't, Mataji.
We won't. I say this person must be mad. How can he ask a house from us, right? Now, I mean, I just took an example, a wild example like that. Now here, it says Swayambhu Manu, okay, King Swayambhu Manu knew the glories of Ruchi, Prajapati Ruchi, which will come in the next shloka. And then he knew that the Lord would be born to him. So even if he had 2 sons, right, he wanted that son who was going to be the Supreme Lord himself. Right? Now, if you for a second, it is so difficult to understand or believe this. He already has two sons. And then generally, what we understand as parents, children, if the children want something, then the parents take a step back, right? Say, okay, it's okay, you have it. It is more important for you to have than the parents to have, or the mother or the father to have it. Now here, the whole mood, right? So neither did Ruchi and Akuti say anything, even though they knew the Supreme Lord will be born to them. Nor did, Satarupa and Swayambhu Manu hesitate to ask them. Now, the whole aspect here that is brought out in the lectures that I was listening is that of detachment. Irrespective, in the sense, I'm not saying detachment to the Lord, but then that mood, that bhava that we are seeing. In fact, if you see Devaki's, when she begot 6 children who were killed, who were smashed on the wall, she could see blood of all her sons being killed. And then the 7th womb was transferred. And then when Krishna was born, what was the first thing Krishna said? Yes, of course, he was happy to see them. And from the Chaturbhuja form, he came to the two-handed form. The first thing he said is, you take me to Nandagaon. Right? Imagine, just imagine. I mean, it's so difficult for me to even think about it. The Lord is with you, and then the Lord wants to go away, or somebody wants to take the Lord, right? But then they're showing, if it is in the interest of the Lord, or if that is what is going to please the Lord, even if the Lord has to go elsewhere, they are okay with it. I mean, it's very, what to say, it is so difficult, at least, when I was reading and I was contemplating on this, it's so difficult to understand. We, things we find it difficult to give, right? Even, when Hadai Pandit, when that sage comes and asks for Nityananda, I mean, like, it breaks their heart, but they give it because the sannyasi, the sannyasi comes and says, what do you want? Give me your son. But then they gave it. This was the culture. In a small sense, we can see, people who go for army, the mothers and the wives must be really brave. I mean, death can come to anybody, but this is, kind of just accepting it on the face, right? It's okay, I will go, right? So you see the aspect of what is more than detachment or giving up or anything. If that is what is going to please the Lord, I'm okay with it. This is what is needed from my side, is the message that also we can get from this particular Putrika Dharma, right? Putrika Dharma. In fact, Prabhupada says, like, if they didn't have sons, the grandparents didn't have sons, then they would give the daughter, and daughter would beget a son, and then they would bring up the child. So, very high, high standards that we are kind of seeing here, right? From Prajapati, Ruchi and Akuti, that they agreed to give their son, who not just an ordinary son, it was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to hand it over to their parents, that is Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa. See, there is another interesting aspect that is coming out here. It says, this Swayambhu Manu, he's a Manu, right? And then Brahma's son. Then it says he did this in consultation with his wife Shatarupa, right? Why I'm insisting on this is, usually there is a misconception that women, women are less intelligent. I mean, sometimes in Bhagavatam we see and other things. But then you see here how much of, whatever you can call it respect, you can call it in tune with, giving the proper position for a woman there. Swayambhu Manu consulted Swatarupa and then made this condition. Actually, there is one very nice quote from his Divine Grace, Gaur Govind Maharaj. Right? Now, Gaur Govind Maharaj, I was recently listening, a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, basically from Orissa. He was saying, he has done what is special about Gaur Govind Maharaj was, I was listening to a lecture from His Grace Amarendra Prabhu was saying, Gaur Govind Maharaj, when Prabhupada saw him first, he said, he wanted to give him sannyasa ashrama directly. Then the devotees there were, said, Prabhupada, he is not even, initiated, second initiated. Then Prabhupada says, you don't know what a pure soul he is. It takes one to recognize one. You don't know what a pure. So he gave him sannyasa ashrama right away. So this thing is, okay, there's a quote that I wanted to read. It's taking time to open. We will, please manage your browser. Okay. Yeah. Some of this quote. In the quote, actually, it says, he's saying, when if women are thought they are less intelligent or their only business is to serve the husband, yes, it is to serve the husband to this thing. But he quotes here, in the quote, Gaur Govind Maharaj is saying that Kapila Muni spoke the whole Sankhya Yoga to a stree, to his mother, and there was no other Purusha there. So it is, he is trying to bring out the aspect that Shrimad Bhagavatam or all scriptures, everything is equally, for everybody. I mean, just because somebody is a Mataji or a Prabhu, it is not like that. So that was the quote. Somehow it is, I'm not able to, I wanted to read the quote in his own words, but the gist of the quote was that Kapila Muni said this whole Sankhya philosophy we saw in the third canto, how the whole of Adhyatma is filled in that Sankhya philosophy. He told it to a stree. So there is nowhere in the import that women should not read or women should not know about spiritual matters and other things. In fact, Kunti Maharani, Draupadi, all of them were so well read. It's only that they did not seem to, as per the Shastras, they had to know, because they had to understand who is oneself and other things, but not for, showing off or anything like that. Because if you see the Kunti prayers, how much of philosophy Kunti Maharani is talking there. And if she has to talk so much of philosophy, that means she must be well read, right? So why I'm insisting on this is because there can be, we do get into discussions or arguments like people have this mindset that women are neglected or women are not given due this thing, given in spiritual this. So all these examples are perfect examples for us to quote and understand that that's not true, right? So that was about how we should, rather than detachment, how we should always, all our work should be that the Lord should be pleased, irrespective of how difficult it is for us. It is the Lord should be pleased, right? So that was and Putrika Dharma that we saw here. So we will go to text 3. Yeah. Janaki
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. I'll call out the, shall I call out the names, Mataji?
Okay, please go ahead.
Hare.
Hare Krishna. What happened?
Yes, Suma Mataji.
Okay. Janaki
Hare
Mataji. What happened?
Am I audible, Mataji?
Yeah, now you are audible, Mataji. Yes.
Sorry, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Janaki
Hare-
Mataji, you can
Hare-
read the shloka. Anita Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sorry to interrupt. Kusumlata Mataji, can you control your browser, please? Because the screen is being disturbed here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
प्रजापतिः स भगवान् रुचिस्तस्याम् अजीजनत् मिथुनं ब्रह्मवर्चस्वी परमेण समाधिना. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Kusumlata Mataji, are you there? Because I'm just deleting it, but again and again, I think Mataji, some child is there on her screen or something.
I know.
Okay,
Hare Krishna.
okay.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ruchi, who was very powerful in his Brahminical qualifications and was appointed one of the progenitors of the living entities, begot one son and one daughter by his wife, Akuti.
Yeah. So here we saw about some new words, powerful words. Last shloka was Putrika Dharma, and now we are saying about we are hearing a new word called Brahma Varchasvi. Srila Prabhupada says, Ruchi, what kind of a Brahmana is? It's such a top class Brahmana, Brahminical qualities, right? In the 18th chapter, and of course in several places. The qualities of a Brahmana, or rather, can we say a Vaishnava, right? Because Brahmana means we get to the aspect of a born Brahmana and other. The main thing about a Brahmana is control of senses and mind, Samadhama, Saucha, Astikyam, and all these things, and you see everybody on the equal, on the soul platform and other things. Right? And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about, Vyasdeva compiled all these Mahabharata, especially Mahabharata, for the Stri, Shudra and Brahma Bandhu, right? Because as such, philosophy, women are more connected emotionally. So actually, there is one group from the ICF where they are giving few pages of Mahabharata every day. I don't know how many of you are part of that group. It is so interesting to read, it is so interesting because, it is a story, it is a flow of story. And of course, a lot of, it is packaged, in the story, you get to know so many values and the rules given, rules and regulation as per scriptures and other things. So which is easy. Rather than saying lesser intelligent, people are more attached to the body. Wise 3 is more attached to the body. His Grace Chaitanya Charandas says, women, just that aspect that we take more time to dress up and then, spend so much time. So the bodily attachment is more compared to man, is what the scriptures say. So that is why, and also emotionally, it is more easier to make all these import of Bhagavatam or of the Adhyatma to make for the woman to understand. So that's how it says all these were compiled for, especially the Mahabharata was compiled for Stri, Shudra and Brahma Bandhu. See, it doesn't stop at Shudra, Brahma Bandhu also. Who is a Brahma Bandhu? Who is a Brahmana, but then not a full-fledged Brahmana. He may be born in a Brahmana family, but then he doesn't have the qualities or he has few qualities. So it is just not Shudra or Stri. That is one aspect, right? So here we are talking about Brahma Varchasvi, right? Ruchi. Then I was, had few examples of Brahmanas. If we think of these devotees, then we understand the qualities of a, top-class Brahmana. Here, Ruchi himself, Ruchi Prajapati himself, why is such a top-class Brahmana? If this Lord wants to come, is being born to him and Akuti, then we can understand what, such a pure Vaishnava his Brahmana is. Then, if you, what makes a Brahmana actually? The type of Brahmana Srila Prabhupada and this shloka is talking about. If we think of the Dadichi Muni, what happens to the Dadichi Muni? All the devatas are coming and saying, give me your bones. And then he says, okay, imagine, he is still alive. If I have to give my bones, I have to die. And then he says, fine, it's okay. And for what? To kill Vritrasura. It is not even, at the outset, it is not even for something, positive, is saying, I want to kill that, so I need your bones. You see, one example. Then if we take even Draupadi, see Brahminical qualities, Draupadi, when her sons were killed, right? I mean, unimaginable, no? Putra Shoka Nirantara, it says. What pain she is going through. But she refuses, Arjuna says, no, Ashwatthama should not be killed, right? First of all, he is a Brahmana. Secondly, he is Guru's son. And thirdly, she's thinking of Krupi. I'm going through that pain of losing when my children are killed. You see the Brahminical quality. All these examples are showing us what is a true Brahmana, right? Queen Kunti, if we say, right? If we take Queen Kunti, what she's saying, Vipada Shantuta Shashwati, she's saying, you give me all these things again and again. Who is a Brahmana? Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. What is Brahma Janati? This is why she's asking all this Vipatti again and again, because she says, if that is there, Krishna, you will be with us. Otherwise, you will go away, right? So that is another. And then in the Prahlad Maharaj, right? If you take Prahlad Maharaj, he is a demon, okay? He is coming in a Daitya family, right? And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, among the demons, I am Prahlad. Prahlad Asmi. In fact, there was one person who was talking about Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj actually had all the mystic powers. I mean, he knew all the mystic powers, that Anima, Ladima, and all these things. Why I'm saying this is, this lecture I was listening to, he was saying, even though he knew all these mystic powers, right? When he was put in fire, when he was thrown from so they will use these mystic powers to protect themselves. But I think he mentioned in Narasimha Purana, it says in detail that even though Prahlad Maharaj was, expert in all the mystic yogas, he completely depended on the Lord. He did not use those mystic powers when Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill him. Can we have a better example of a Brahmana, of a Vaishnava? Complete dependence. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Every letter to the T, Prahlad Maharaj is. You see, these are the qualities that we see as a Brahmana, if we say who is a Brahmana, right? And then, of course, in the 5th canto, if you see Jada Bharat, the name itself, Jada Bharata, right? I would like to read the translation of one shloka. This is 5.12.12, canto 5.12.12. Here, Raghuguna converses with Jada Bharata, right? The translation goes like this, translation by Srila Prabhupada. I'm reading this to show what are the qualities of a Brahmana. What he's telling, my dear King Raghuguna, unless one has the opportunity to smear his entire body with the dust of the lotus feet of great devotees, one cannot realize the absolute truth. One cannot realize the absolute truth simply by observing celibacy, brahmacharya, strictly following the rules and regulations of a householder life, leaving home as a vanaprastha, accepting sannyasa, or undergoing severe penances in winter by keeping oneself submerged in water, or surrounding oneself in summer by fire and the scorching heat of the sun. There are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. You see, mercy of a great devotee. So, Jada Bharat, if we read, how he was treated, not just being given stale food. His step brothers gave him stale food, and people used to just throw even stool and mala on him. But then he was really indifferent to his body. He says, I'm not this body. Once bitten, twice shy. Because he became a deer, and then, of course, you're a devotee. But then, through all these examples, I gave these examples for us to understand what is actually a Brahmana or a Vaishnava, right? And with these kind of standards set, and then we can see where we are and where we have to move. This is our progress. This is what Shrimad Bhagavatam does to us. Hridayantasto hi abhadrani. All these unwanted things, about the body, about me, myself, and whatever aham mameti. If we have to get above all that, then first of all, we have to understand the knowledge through Bhagavatam, and then wherever possible, even if it is one thing in a day, if we are able to move ourselves above the bodily level, if very hungry, and then, diabetes. I mean, this is just an example I'm giving. Diabetes, then I have to eat now, otherwise something will happen. We can wait maybe for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Before we move to the next sloka, I want to share one. There's a couple, some 5 years ago. This Prabhu, he is called as Ramachandra. He basically from Madhvacharya, Madhva Sampradaya. He came to give Srimad Bhagavatam classes in Kannada. It was a Saptaha. Then in the Saptaha, in one of the classes, he was talking. It came up to this Bhishma Panchaka. Those of you know, at the end of Kartik month or Damodar Mas, people are on fruits and root for 5 days, right? So we were told we can have fruit and root, no salt, nothing, no pepper and other things. Now this person was 70 years old. This was more than 5-6 years ago, this incident that happened. He was a retired teacher or a professor. He was in Mysore and then shifted to Bangalore. Then he was, when he spoke about this, and then he said, if people say they are diabetic and they cannot fast on Ekadashi and all that, he said, please bring them to me. I am 70 years old. Okay. On a daily basis, they have one meal in the afternoon, 12 o'clock or something. And after that, they don't even have water also. I am alive, he said. And for Bhishma Panchaka, he said, on Dashami, Bhishma Panchaka starts on Ekadashi. On Dashami evening, he goes, sits in front of his deities and he says, Krishna, for 5 days, you take my diabetes. And for 5 days, both the husband and wife do nirjal. He said, I fainted. I said, for 5 days. So he was giving this example to say, if people say that they have diabetes, if they fast, something extreme will happen, please bring them to me. I am a living example. Right? Why I'm quoting this is, unless we want proof or we want to understand, we get scared. I have this tablet, I have that. Yes, precaution has to be taken. I'm not saying don't stop taking your tablets and other things. But if we have chosen this path of bhakti, how has a Brahminical quality, the topmost Brahminical quality is to completely depend on the Lord for everything. And we have to move ourselves step by step, move ourselves up in this thing by trying to work on or live on the platform of the soul, right? Of the soul. Any disturbance, this thing, reading Jadabharata's this thing, how, he was just fixed that he is not the body. Then reading that, it will inspire you. Okay, even if one aspect, if somebody was very, abusive, or they said something that really, that really hurt one person, I mean, us, in the process of discussion or whatever, they hurt us. Then you can say, okay, it just doesn't matter to the soul. I am the soul. It is for the body. And the body is just, various varieties of mud, that is what ultimately the Jadabharata, when he's talking to Raghuguna, saying. So why I'm saying this is like, in whatever stage we are in, we have to inculcate in a day-to-day life. Srila Prabhupada will be so happy that because he said we have to live a life of Bhagavad Gita and Shrimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada, what more example we want as a topmost Brahmana than Srila Prabhupada? Even when he was dying, he was on his the last days. So he's saying, no, I mean, he's talking about Shrimad Bhagavatam. He's translating Shrimad Bhagavatam. So, Ruchi, from Ruchi, and so many, and why we have to cultivate these Brahminical qualities? What are we seeing in the world? All of us are, saying everything so much bad has happening, so much negative things and this thing. So, every one of us are going to up our Brahminical Sattva Guna qualities. So, that is the kind of vibes that we will see in the world. Right, which all of us are wanting, because we have to not just work for ourselves, we have to work for people who are not working also. I mean, who are not in this path, and then you see how much of work we have. We work for us to be in Sattva Guna, and then we create an environment in such a way that people are kind of sucked into that Sattva Guna environment, right? So these examples give us inspire us to move up our Sattva Guna or Brahminical qualities, right? So fourth shloka we will read.
Hare Krishna. Shilpa Mataji, you can read the shloka. Shobha Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Pranam, Mataji. Yastayoho purushaha sakshad vishnur
Vishnu Yagna Swarupadrik.
Vishnur Yagya Swarupadrika Yastri Sadakshina Bhuteram Shabhutana Payini. Sorry, Mataji, my specs.
Bhutan Payini. Yeah, no problem. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his name was Yagna, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Suma Mataji, do you want to read that purport? It's a small purport.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Here it is stated that both the Lord and Lakshmi, who are eternal consorts, appeared from Akuti simultaneously. Both the Lord and his consort are beyond this material creation, as confirmed by many authorities. Narayana Paro Vyaktat. Therefore, their eternal relationship cannot be changed. And Yagna, the boy born of Akuti, later married the goddess of fortune. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so many questions, many thoughts that would be running through our minds. Okay, so before we say anything from this shloka's translation and purport, first thing we have to understand that we don't understand anything about the Lord. That is, the Lord is supreme and the Lord is inconceivable. Now, why we are saying he is supreme and inconceivable? Now, suppose, at the outset in our material concept, it says if they are brother and sister, how they can marry, right? Now, the Lord is doing lot of these pastimes, even in Mahabharata. If you see, how can he be? How could he have allowed Arjuna to kill Karna when Karna did not have weapons? All these questions. Why the Lord does what? I'm repeating what Acharyas say. Now, if he is following rules, these rules like what we follow, that means the rule is above Krishna, above the Lord. And then that means if it is above the Lord, that means the Lord is not supreme. And then who made the rules? That means there is somebody above the Lord, asama urdhava. There is nobody above him, nobody equal to him. right? And then if you so that means the rules are higher than them, and then so if somebody has made the rules, if he is following those rules, then that means somebody is above him, which both does not is not what the scriptures, Sadhu, Shastra and Guru says. Now, see, any activity that we when we understand, we do it because there is some happiness, there is some bliss or some enjoyment in in any activity we do, right? Now we are all here sitting and listening to Shrimad Bhagavatam. I'm trying to share a few thoughts and few words because it gives me some bliss, and it gives you, all of you, also bliss. I mean, I'm assuming that is giving, my words are giving you some bliss also. But then when we need either, I mean, some external entity, like we need a person, we need some activity other than us to feel bliss, right? People can say that they are alone, but then invariably, if they're there for a long time, they can be a mental wreck also. Some, they will have a book, they will have some hobby, even if they are alone, they will have a book, a hobby, or something to keep themselves occupied and to feel that bliss or feel happiness, right? So this is all our state. But then what does it mean, Atmarama? The Lord just does not need anybody, anything for him to feel. He is actually Atmarama. He is the actual enjoyer because he is dependent only on himself for everything. Nobody, he does not need any external this thing for him to feel bliss. However, if we see all these pastimes and other things for him, because again, he is doing it to reciprocate with his devotees, to give bliss to his devotees. Right? So I'm trying to explain this, to understand how inconceivable the Lord is. If he is inconceivable, Sevan Mukhi Jigvada, how does that shloka start?
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi.
Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grah Indriya. So we are trying to understand Krishna, who is above this material thing, above this material aspect, through our material senses. So that's how we are not able to understand. So Srila Prabhupada, it says, see, either you can accept or reject it. Now, if you don't know or if you don't understand, so it would be better, it would be wise to just accept about the Lord, about these things. This is in one of the lectures, Srila Prabhupada is telling his devotees, so his disciples. So let's not put any of our thoughts, our actions, our understanding to the Lord here, to this particular shloka. If we don't understand, then just let us park our thoughts rather than reject it, right? Because the Lord is really inconceivable. If we have to take just one, I always, when these things I take, you just see a tree, or even if we take our own body, right? How many cells? Approximately, it says 3 trillion. I read it somewhere. It can be wrong also. 3 trillion cells a body has. Each cell is living, right? So if each cell is living, the Lord as Paramatma is there in each cell. If something has to be alive, the Atma and the Paramatma, that consciousness has to be there, right? Or if you see a tree, so many leaves, each leaf, and so many living entities, in each and every living entity, the Lord has entered as Paramatma, right? That is how inconceivable he is. So, and like I read this translation of what Jadabharata is telling King Raghuvana, the last line it says, there are many other processes to understand the absolute truth, but the absolute truth is only revealed to one who has attained the mercy of a great devotee. So if we have to really understand this, and then another important word in that Srila Prabhupada said is it will be revealed, right? And if it has to be revealed, if something has to be revealed, right, in the school, if the teacher has to be very happy with you, what should the teacher feel? Should if something, you know, which he or she, the teacher has not revealed in the class, and specifically if he has to reveal something about the lesson to any particular student, the teacher has to be happy about the student. And when will the teacher be happy? When that student follows what is instructed. So if Krishna has to reveal himself to us, that means we have to follow his instructions. And then what does it mean following his instruction? Following the Guru's instructions, or following Guru's representatives' instructions. And then, so first of all, let's stop trying to understand. Let's try to serve. Sevanmukhi hi jikvado. It says Sevanmukhi. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena seveya. I'm not going to understand a T of it, a letter of it on my own. I can understand only if I serve, and it is revealed through their mercy, right? So with that, we'll come to the last shloka for today, the fifth shloka.
Rishabhanu Mataji, you can read the shloka and the translation also. Hare Krishna.
No, maybe somebody can read the translation so that others get a chance. Yes, Krishnamurti
Nobody
Prabhu
has
will read
raised.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you can read the translation, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
आलिले स्वगृहं पुत्र्याः पुत्रवित्त तरोचिषं सायम्भुवो मुदा मुक्तो युक्तो रुचिर्जर्या जग्राह दक्षिणां. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Swayambhuva Manu very gladly brought home the beautiful boy.
Krishnamurti Prabhu, you got muted. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation by A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Swayambhuva Manu very gladly brought home the beautiful boy named Yajna, and Ruchi, his son-in-law, kept with him the daughter Dakshina. Hare Krishna Mataji, Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So then they have two children, Dakshina, and brought home the boy Yajna, Ruchi, and son-in-law kept the daughter Dakshina. Yajna, you know, if some of us who are used to chanting Vishnu Sahasranam, you know, it says Yajno, Yajnapatir, Yajva, Yajnango, Yajnavahana, Yajnakrit, Yajnavrit, Yajni, Yajnakrit, Yajna Sadhanaha. It says, you know, each name of Vishnu in Vishnu Sahasranam has 100 meanings. So if Yajna is used so many times, that means it has so many meanings, right? At the end of Vishnu Sahasranam, it comes so many times. Yajna, it comes. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about the famous 3.9. Yajna tat karma yatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadattam karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. Yajna tat karmano anyatra. Anything we are doing other than trying to please the Lord. Loko bandhana. We are binding ourselves in this material world. So this the Lord as Yajna is born, and Ruchi, Prajapati Ruchi hands Yajna to Swayambhu Manu, right? So this is how the fourth canto is beginning with the daughters of Manu, and then of course we will go through the chapters with various other speakers and try to relish the fourth canto. One example among the Brahmanas I forgot to give was Mirabai. In fact, Mirabai is wants to. I'm sorry, I came back to that shloka because it was a very interesting example. Mirabai tells Sanatana Goswami Pad that I want to meet you. But then Sanatana Goswami Pad sends back a message, says, I don't meet women. So and Mirabai's reply was, amazing. It says, I thought in Vrindavan there is only one Purusha. Right? Who is that Purusha?
Krishna.
Krishna. And the rest all are Stri, right? So this is the another, I mean, how much, in spite of being tortured so much, she never gave up, yes, what to say, worshipping, accepting Krishna as her Aradhya Deva. So this is the start, like how Dakshina and was with Ruchi and Akuti, and Yagna was given to Swayambhuman. Right? More so in the purport, it talks about, Srila Prabhupada is talking about, he is elaborating on that Yagna Tat Karmana Nitra. Basically, how we have to do our activities just to please Krishna. Right? So this kind of concludes today's 5 shlokas with all your mercy and the Parampara's mercy. Just before concluding, Pitrapaksh, again a quote of Gaur Govind Maharaj, was saying, yes, it is important for all of us to do the Tarpana that we do. But in that quote, Gaur Govind Maharaj says, it is more important or more beneficial for the Pitrus when one reads Shrimad Bhagavatam. So please take this opportunity, especially on Mahalaya Amavasya. Please listen to Bhagavatam, read more Shrimad Bhagavatam, and actually pleasing the parampara and up to Krishna is to live the life of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for this opportunity. Praying for from all of you, seeking blessings to correct myself more and more, and for the seva opportunity given. Koti Dandavat Pranams, starting from Achintya Gopinath Prabhu to everybody. Hare Krishna. And any sense that I have made, please pass it on to my Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Excellent session. So nice. Haribol, any questions? Suma, someone, Radha Mataji? Someone is
Padma
speaking.
Mataji.
Okay.
Padma Mataji has raised her hand.
So I can see first Suma Mataji. Suma Mataji, you can ask, then Padma Mataji, and then Shobha Mataji will ask.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, thank you so much, Mataji. Pranams to you. Mataji, today in today's class, you said that Prahlad Maharaj had all the siddhis, and even then, he did not use any of them, and he completely took shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. So, Mataji, in the life of a devotee, when they are struggling to perform their sadhana, how can we understand, Mataji? Like, I mean, when we are chanting, we will also be getting, I don't know, Mataji, like some sort of help from the Lord, as like what to say, Mataji, like when you chant, you will get the benefits of all that, with whether you know it or whether you want it or not, you will get. I have heard this in some lecture of Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. So, but we have to reject all that and we have to concentrate our mind, so that only then we get Krishna Prema. So, while doing that, how can we understand, Mataji, like we are struggling and we are not using any of those, and it becomes, in a way, like it becomes very difficult to reach the Supreme Lord, and sometimes it becomes so difficult, like even to stay on the path of bhakti also. So how can one understand that these things should be used or not, or completely we should neglect everything, because those things are also sent by the Lord only. Anything like the devotee, it may be in any way. I'm sorry, Mataji, maybe I'm confusing, I don't know.
No, yeah, basically tests that come, right?
Yes,
See, how do we move to the next class? In the school, are we just promoted to the next class? Are we promoted? Or they have an exam? So,
Exam will be
and
there.
then only if we pass in the exam, we go to the next class, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
So the tests are given based on our karma or whatever. Otherwise also, right? And then Krishna is seeing not whether I pass the test. See, plus first mainly understand everything is Krishna. If I'm speaking, it is because Krishna is allowing me to speak. If you're hearing, if you're asking this question, it's because it is Krishna is allowing you. Right? So even if I have to pass the test, until I'm struggling, I have to pass the test, then I'll be struggling. Then you take the shelter every moment to moment in as a Paramatma in the heart, as the deities and the shelter of, constantly crying for Krishna. Please help me, please help me. When you sleep, there's so many things you hear. One powerful thing I heard was when you sleep, pray to Guru and Gauranga. Let me wake up early. Let me chant properly. Let me finish my things quickly. We think it is only for sadhana. No. Even if I have to breathe, even if I have to speak, what stops Krishna from, this moment to stop my speech, stop my breathing? Nothing. If I'm doing that, that means he's allowing it. So that has to be inculcated rather than focusing on the obstacles that are coming for the sadhana. Focus on how it is taking you more near to Krishna. So when you surrender there like that, then you will see how it vanishes. Now you are struggling. You struggle to pray to Krishna rather than struggle to overcome the obstacle. Pray to Guru, pray to Gauranga. See, that switch has to happen. Okay, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, Mataji, very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yes, Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, pranams. Mataji, my question may sound a little funny, but I'm a little curious to know this.
Yes.
Now, see, trees and plants also have life.
Okay.
Right? They have a soul.
Okay.
Does Paramatma is within them also? Is Paramatma within them?
Of course.
Trees and plants also?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Paramatma is within them also. See, not just within living beings, the whole universe, right? As Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, he is as a Paramatma for the whole universe, not just the living entities.
But the only thing their conscious is very low, no? Plants and trees.
That is another subject. Your question was, is Paramatma there? Yes, he is there. Yes.
Yes. Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Shobha Mataji, that will be the last question for today. I have to go somewhere. Please. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, like you said that we should Prabhupada, mostly Srila Prabhupada has said in most of his lectures that we should take care of our body. Yeah, but to an extent, not like fully going to the bodily needs. And like Prabhuji, which example you gave, that he tells Krishna that you take care of my
Diabetes.
for some days. So Mataji, there I'm confused. Like, still I'm not on that level that I can have that full devotion towards Krishna, that yeah, he will take care of me. Sometimes it is a confusion in my mind that okay, if I leave this, while I'm not having any such problems with me, but still I'm having like maybe I will not feel well, or I may get a headache then, and then next day I'll get a problem. So let me have this at least. With water I can have this, with water I can have apple or something. So Madhu, there I'm like I want to have your guidance. Like, should I also go on the same path, or still wait for the faith, or should I go on that path and keep a faith that yeah, let me be however it happens, let me see.
That's why when I said we will move ourselves one step from where we are, right? I did not give that example for us to imitate or to follow, right? Like one thing you said, Srila Prabhupada said, take care of health. Correct. For what? To do our sadhana. right? But in the same thing, Srila Prabhupada also has defined what is true humility, right? It says true humility is when I understand nothing in this world, not my health, not my money, not my relatives, not my body, not my LIC policy, not my asset, not my children, not my parents, nothing in this world is actual protector other than the Lord. That example, even, Prahlad Maharaj, when mother gave poison, could the mother protect Prahlad Maharaj? No, it was the Lord. So that's why I repeatedly said, we have to move from where we are to the next step. Right? The thing is, it is not that it depends. What is our surrender? If we are able to surrender that much, good. If we are not, then that is what when we see these examples, we have been hearing about Prahlad, how he accepted all this, but still he became a great devotee. It's not that we hear it today and tomorrow we are Prahlad. No, it is never to imitate. It is to show us what is protection of Krishna, what it means to have protection of Krishna. It's giving us the faith. Now you have some faith, right? So with this, maybe your faith will, I'm just giving an example, maybe 10%, and then it will go to 15%, because you will experiment with yourself. Okay, I did this, and then I depended more on the Lord rather than what I was doing. So it will up your faith, right? So all this should give us an impetus to move ourselves. Like how we make plans for upping our finance, upping our status, upping our assets, etc., or even our health. We should up our spiritual life also. So these examples are given to show that it can be done, rather than think that I can do it from tomorrow. You can maybe do it from tomorrow if it is possible for you. If not, please go step by step, right? Because this answers also Suma Mataji's question. Krishna sees our endeavor rather than because we can only endeavor rather than how perfect we are. It is the process that the Lord sees. Okay. Did I answer your question, Mataji?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji, for this guidance and help. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Mataji has to leave, so we will just simply do Vaishnava Pranam mantra. Hare Krishna. Vacha kalpete
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So I'll end the
Mataji,
session,
come more
Mataji.
often,
Please.
Mataji. Please try and come
Hare
more
Krishna.
often.
Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Bol.
Hari Bol.